this 5th day of induction program, that is cybersecurity and autonomy. With great pleasure, we are announcing that we are not only connected through this program, through the different IITs and NITs of our country, but we are also connected internationally through our today's speaker. Yes, our today's speaker is Dr. Damodar, Mr. Damodar Sahoo sir. He is from USA. He is the head of the GMT, New Age SaaS applications at Wipro Limited, USA. As a design thinker, Damodar sir works at the confluence of business and emerging technologies. His digital transformation approach and innovative technology application through process is well acclaimed by his presentations as speaker in numerous technology conferences and global fora, and through his numerous articles and blogs at the print and social media. Currently, Damodar sir is responsible for building Wipro's new age SaaS products and appliances partnership and GMT worldwide. Damodar has a proven track record over 25 years and sound academic credentials. He graduated with a Bachelor of Technology degree in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. He also has a Master's in Operations Management from Amity University, MDP on Leadership in the Age of Digital Transformation from IIM Calcutta, and a research scholar on computer science. And there are some glimpses of Dr. Damodar Sahoo sir. World Peace Ambassador. His World Peace Ambassador in India by World Peace Tracks. Top 50 global thought leaders and influencers on digital disruptions by Think 360 in June 2021. Ranked as top 1 social seller globally for Wipro by LinkedIn. And Dr. Damodar sir is also a philanthropist supporting on education to the underprivileged students of his village in Odisha, India. So I welcome you, sir, in this 6th day of our program.
Absolutely.
That is cybercrime and autonomy.
Absolutely.
So
thank you.
I once again welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Professor. And good morning to everybody, and I wish you all a happy Makara Sankranti. And I would like to share my screen. Just let me know once you see my screen. Is it visible? Is it visible now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
It is visible. You can hear me well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this topic is very close to me. It's a long introduction, ma'am, so it was not required. Today you are in digital world. People can simply go to LinkedIn or any social site, and you can put my name, then it is visible. So I just put my LinkedIn profile here. If you would like to connect me, discuss with me anything on new age tech services, applications, I'm happy to help. Recently, I have been honored by Government of Odisha as a mentor for startup Odisha. So I will be advising a few startups, especially into, let's say, AI, ML, cyber security, even into Industry 4.0. This is all my not for profit. I am full time into Wipro. So whatever I do outside, that is all nothing, not for profit. It's on my own interest. I do that. And during my presentation, I will be sharing my experience. So nothing from Wipro, nothing from Wipro IP, and no Wipro solutions, no sales speech. I'll just tell you my experience. So topic is very close to my heart, as I told you, cyber security and autonomy. I will be covering majorly 3 subjects. One is IoT with 5G network, how it is relevant in cyber security. And the most happening thing is integrating AI, artificial intelligence, with cybersecurity. I call it a new era of technology as well as risks. So the last word is very important, risk. Okay. Uh, so if you see, they are all public domain reports. Globally, 30,000 websites are hacked daily. That means what? 60% of companies worldwide have experienced at least one form of a cyber attack. You know. So this entire, let's say, more than 1 hour, how we'll make it? I have couple of story. I will talk about my thoughts and point of view, and the story would be 3 and 4 stories, mostly India specific story. I will talk about one US or global specific story. They are all real story. Combination of cyber security, IoT, 5G and AI. And post that, we will have a question answer session. If you have anything, you can ask, or you can post the questions on the chat window. So every 11 seconds, we are actually attacked. If you see, this is actually the experts in 2021. Every 11 seconds there is attack, and the attacks are mostly ransomware. We'll talk about how many types of attack. So this I got it, Cybercrime magazine. Let me give you an intro. We all are still in COVID era, right? COVID and Delta, now Omicron, right? And I was supposed to travel to India, but I could not travel because of this COVID crisis and travel restriction. So we are still operating mostly remote. Maybe you guys are going to your campus, I don't know, but I think again now we are coming back to remote. So we are passing through the most unprecedented times, like last, let's say, more than 2 years. And especially in cyber security, if you see, from March 2021, it has increased by 475. Any type of cyber attacks, right? I will talk about in details. And mostly the cyber criminals, they attack on public sector and healthcare, because healthcare data is very important to them, right? Like my healthcare data, right? Anybody's healthcare data is very relevant, right? And third is basically for very high operational tempo organization. I will talk about like manufacturing, how few companies, even banking and financial institutions, right? These are all their target. And this is the biggest impact of COVID-19 to the enterprise worldwide. We have seen a couple of even IT companies are targeted in India and outside as well, last year. So it indicates that our cyber security measures are inadequate. That means we are not prepared, like we have not prepared how to predict or how to even do the correction measure in COVID-19, right? Let's say if you could have been informed by, let's say, November 2019 by that particular country that yes, it is already flooded there and you guys may get into this, then you could have prevented, right? I mean, a lot of people have actually, if you see the COVID could have been prevented, could have been predicted, a lot of people have given a lot of particle, it could have been. But it is not. Like if I can give you an example of, let's say, I belong to a state where a cyclone comes every 6 months, right? I have seen super cyclone in 1999 where 12,000 people died. That time I was in Bhubaneswar. So, but post that, we have experience, we have data, now we can predict, we can take all correction measure. And I think last couple of years, absolutely zero casualty, right? So that it comes with a practice data, then again, the political or the government aim, how we can actually tackle it, right? So maybe we will take this is a learning, then further, I think we will be prepared. Anyway, that is not relevant to what today's topic, right? What I mean to say that we are not prepared. This is the biggest impact, and we are not prepared, and we don't have an adequate measure that we can actually deal with to repercussion of the pandemic, which has many uncontrolled and still it is evolving, right? So what does that mean? That means there is a huge scope for the cyber security professional, especially students. So I have put one slide at the end of the day, what the students will get out of it, where are this opportunity, what is the opportunity, what is the size of the opportunity in terms of number of security professionals required in India and outside India, what is the salary level, and how the universities like yours can prepare and do a separate course on cyber security, just to motivate the, technical folks, yeah. And And who are the most vulnerable area? Actually, especially I can say OT and IoT. So we all know about IT, right? IT is nothing but your information technology. OT is what? Basically for your operational technology. Operational technology is the combination of both hardware and software, mostly into, let's say, manufacturing, your, let's say, oil and gas, right? Where you have your PLC, SCADA systems are in use, right? And they are OT actually, operational technology, both software and hardware combination. Then IoT, I'm sure you must be knowing it. It's Internet of Things, right? It is very famous, where it is actually the real-time connected data we get it. I can give an example of, let's say, your connected car is your smart home. Let's say whatever you are using, your Google Home. They are all IoT devices, right? So IoT is Internet of Things. Now we are actually getting into Internet of everything. Everything is connected everywhere, right? We are in a digital world. I will talk about it later, right? So let's say what does IoT does? IoT actually is you are connecting, collecting data, analyzing, and give a business insights to the different users. So OT, it's a operational technology. IoT is the Internet of Things. These are the most vulnerable area and is often the target of the cyber criminals. If anything, failure to secure the OT landscape, let's say your SCADA system, your PLC, your CNC, right? They are all in industry, huge industry. Let's say a Japanese automaker, they are not only manufacturing in Japan, they are global. They have a manufacturing plant everywhere, all Asian country, US, Europe, right? Canada, everywhere they have, right? So if one particular factory or their OT, IoT is compromised, then they can really put a stop to the production of the global. That exactly happened. If you heard about Honda last year, right? It was down. Honda factory was down for a few months. I mean, few days. So you see the kind of loss, right? So that's why I talked about OT and IoT are the most vulnerable area, right? And to meet the increased demand of the current business environment and the new capability, we have to have 100% remote assessment of any cyber what you call compromise happens. Remotely somebody has to predict that it is coming from there, and you have to analyze it, and you have to take a correction measure immediately. Then only you can prevent it. I will talk about in details later. And we all know that the world we live in is changing at a rapid pace because of your computation, your growth plan. We are still in developing nations, right? Developing country where US and Europe, they are already developed. So there is a race going on, right? Among industries, we have a peer pressure, right? And population is going up, right? So there are both pros and cons, right? If you see this thing, I got it from internet today. It takes 20 years to build a reputation. You compare anything, on an average, it takes 20 years. You build your campus, you build your college, you let any enterprise or any large scale industry, right? It takes years. But a few minutes of cyber attack, it actually ruins it, right? This is known. And why I'm talking about the world we live in changing at a rapid pace? Because of this social networking, right? We have extended enterprise. I talk about the concept of global manufacturing. No need to all the factories are interconnected, and the world we live in is also very interconnected. It's called connected world, right? We live in the industry 4.0, right? It's an industrial revolution, right? And let's say cloud economy, you are using now cloud, on-prem to cloud, right? And digital adoption, you talk about, let's say, your digital pay, anything you talk about, right? And let's say blockchain is coming into a second era of internet. People predict that by 2025 blockchain would be the second era of internet, and blockchain is already in use in India, especially government, your land registration, right? And I don't know, Aadhaar is not on blockchain, but yeah, these are the technology I think we need to use, and a lot of laws and regulation, your cognitive computing coming again up, then your big data analytics. That means what is very complex, interconnected, and it's a digitally connected. So that's why I have written digital, third party, your technology, your operational, compliance, reputation, then all put together. There should be a ethics in anything we do, right? Let's say we talk about, let's say, AI ML, right? I'll talk an example of connected car or autonomous car, especially in an Indian scenario, by this government's vision on 2030, automotive, I will talk about that. But can AI, can cyber security be ethical? We'll discuss about that. Just hold your thought. Yeah. This is a lovely story. I want to make it little live. Let me give a try how I can make it live. We all know. I mean, there is a next session I will talk about the Elon Musk, your Tesla guy, right, and versus one of the co-founder of Google, NG. I'll talk about that. So let me ask you a question: can a machine, a product, have emotions? Like I have emotion, right? I know today is Makar Sankranti, so I wish you. You also wish me, right? But can a machine have emotions? Can a machine also will talk about like the humans feel or talk? Can a machine be self-aware? That means what? If a machine in a critical work, let's say there is a fire, can a machine have an emotion? While there is a, let's say today in West Bengal there is a railway accident. If we put robots there, can they really go and rescue? And will they have an emotion while dealing with those people, right? Can a machine be original or creative? Like we are creative, right? We learn from a mistake, right? I have given example of the Odisha government's, what do you call, cyclone relief and how they do it actually, right? And can a machine be benevolent or hostile? People can put you on hostile. I can be hostile, right? I will talk about a connected car or a autonomous driving scenario. Can machine have a soul? Like I have a soul, right? It hurt me, and I feel the joy. I feel the happiness, right? Can a machine have a soul? So I'll give a live example, right? This is a food for thought, and I call it, say, me time. I always say that be kind to your mind. And what I do outside my work, based on that, I have been honored as a World Peace Ambassador India by one organization in Israel, World Peace Track. I work for hope, happiness, and I am the messenger of passing hope, happiness. And I spend a lot of time weekly talking to people in affected area. And this is just my way of giving back to society. And so based on that, we all know that what is Mitra, right? Like our Prime Minister say, hey, Mitra, right? Bandhu. Bandhu is also a word, Hindi. Dude, in US people call, hey, dude, right? And mate, we call it, hey, hello, mate, right? So all pocket, like if you see this one, let's say soul, wisdom, mental health, all sort of things putting together. Then we say, hey, no worries, man, don't worry, I'm there. Hey, dude, if you see here, right? And this is a family, right? So I'll give you a very example. It's a story. It is there. Combination of AI, ML, IoT, 5G, and your cyber security. Let's say I'm in a corporate. The kind of Accenture, IBM, Infosys, Wipro, TCS, the kind of resources they have, right? If I talk about Wipro at this moment, we have got 220,000 plus people worldwide, right? And worldwide means more than 65 countries, right? Let's say I'm in US, so US alone we have got 35,000 people. India would be around 75,000 people, right? Or more than that, maybe close to 1 lakh, right? Because most of our offshore projects are, similar to TCS, you talk about 400,000 people, right? 4 lakh people, So, I mean, it's a factory of people, Similarly, if you talk about, let's say, Schneider, your big factory, I talk about Honda, big companies, let's say your ABB, all you talk about anything, your Hindustan, I mean, Unilever, right? They're all big, I mean, global, right? And but people focus on, let's say, diversity, inclusion, right? One Wipro we call it, one company we call it, right? Similarly, so definitely, what you mean to say that, irrespective of our religion, irrespective of our color, irrespective of our geo, we treat as a one. But working in a very not stressful, working with a business organization, you have to have a commit. We all have our KRA, right? We have a KRA, right? We have a job to play, right? But still, all the companies, they focus on how, and that's why people or the enterprise, they have started appointing chief culture officer, chief happiness officer. These are all part of CHRO organization, right? It's Chief Human Resources Organization. So why? That means there is a work conflict happens, and mostly if you see our kind of industry, most youngsters you will find less than 28, 30, they are the major, I think maybe 40%, right? Because that's why we hire campus recruit from colleges like university like yours, right? Once they come into the corporate life, mostly the conflict happen, they get into marriage, and I mean, again, your marital disorder happens, and again, similarly, not only that, even your, let's say, your peer pressure, because of the peer pressure, you have some, no, I mean, let's say, talk about, let's say, in a campus where you have thousands of people working, and let's say you got into any mental trauma, right? And normally what we do in US, we call 911, right? In India, let's say we have got 100, 101, whatever, right? But it doesn't mean that everybody calls on that number, right? In US, there is a unique number, 191. Anything, everything, any emergency, people normally call. Hey, I'm here. Can you? Yeah. So similarly, let's say in corporate, let's say, but people normally don't call in terms of any disaster, right? So let's say I will enable something, a application on my mobile phone. This is app. Let's say app name, I will give you Mitra, Bandhu, Do, Mate, whatever, Besan. And I will just on the app, and I will start talking to the app. Hey, application. Hey, Bandhu, Mitra. Actually, normally people will call if they're in trouble. If I'm happy, normally I don't call, right? If I'm happy, I'm happy. I'm just enjoying my. But if I am in distress, in stress, then I'll definitely call. So once I start calling to my phone, there is application inside, and the application is nothing but a intelligent agent or intelligent AI or intelligent chatbot. The chatbot started recording my conversations, right? And I mean, like we call bank, there is Iberia, there is auto, right? So he will guide you, hey, what happened? If my everything is detailed, my voice, everything, then hey, Ramo, how are you? Where are you? Right? What happened? Are you okay? The moment if my tone says that, I'm really in stress, I'm not happy, if I'm crying, or if I'm telling a story, or I have a conflict with my spouse, my children, whatever, right? My boss, whatever, then it's all getting recorded there, right? So once it's getting recorded there, and you see the chatbots are getting intelligent day by day. We'll talk about that. I mean, based on the data, based on the experience, we are actually, they are programmable, right? I mean, that's why I ask you this question, whether can machine have an emotion? Can machine be self-aware? No, yeah, they are becoming self-aware. They are becoming emotional. How is that? Let's say if I'm telling some sorrow story, it's a real, then they will say, oh, I see, oh, you are in distress. Then by the time he will start prompting to take my location, they will not ask you where exactly you are. Based on my geolocation, they will take, oh, I am in tower 8, ground floor, A wing. Let's say I'm in office. If outside office, which is even, I can call within my campus, even also I can call outside my campus. So within campus, it's a control environment, right? So some of our security guys can come and meet me immediately, right? If outside, again, this is totally outside of any enterprise, so we have to take help from either ambulance or police or fire, based on the situation, right? Let's say I'm talking about within the environment, right? So then you see, the chatbots are becoming intelligent day by day. They will try to take control. If they're not, they will immediately pass the line to a live agent. The live agent, nothing but he may be a psychologist, right? Then he will take control of things. They will ask me, hey, Ramo, what went wrong? Why? Then once that is taken care by a live agent, right? Things will be under control. And then they will address it, and based on the situation, they will take. So why I'm talking about that? You see, if I have not given access to any application, if I will say, okay, call a toll-free number, somebody will know. Then also same thing. My what do you call? My feeling would be that I have to talk to somebody. Then I will hesitate to talk to somebody. If I say, no, you are not talking to somebody, you are talking to Mitra, a application. You are talking to Bandhu or Dude or Maid, right? Then actually that will give it comfort. Okay, I can cry. I can tell everything. I can tell all my frustration, right? So there is a link to the cyber security. That's why I'm telling this story. So I'll just tell you, complete this story later on. The second part of my thought process. So these are the hourly attacks. This is the website. You just go globe.akamai. Akamai is a big company, tech company. They're into all web application. So if you see, these are the attacks. Daily attacks happen. You see the kind of attacks happen. I have taken, I think, a month ago this data, right? So it's horrible. Then let me talk about Elon Musk and versus NG. I think you are well familiar with Elon Musk. Tesla is already in India. I think today Elon Musk has 70 million Twitter follower. I don't know how much our Modi, I think Modi may be having so 50, 54. Yeah. So this guy is actually one of the richest person. And you see the Tesla founder, chief engineer at SpaceX. He's a early stage investor. I mean, a lot of things. He's a crazy guy, right? And the left side guy is NG. He's a British-born American computer scientist, technology entrepreneur focusing on machine learning and AI. Both are into AI space. But NG, yeah, he was the co-founder and head of Google Brain, and was the former chief scientist at Baidu. You know Baidu, right? And building the company's artificial intelligence group into a team of several thousands group. The two guys' thought process is totally different. Elon Musk is saying he's worried about AI apocalypse. What does it mean? He expects that AI should take control of the earth, right? So he's least bothered. He wants to go to space. He's making his own space, right? So, and he's saying AI should take over everything. But our other friend NG, he's expecting the society have to adapt to a situation where people learn throughout their lives, depending on the skill, and put it into the marketplace, right? So he's against of AI or ML taking jobs, but Elon Musk is saying yes, it has to go, because he wants 100% accuracy, no manual intervention, right? I mean, so why I'm talking about, because we will get into the details on cyber security. I talk about, right, how COVID-19 outbreak is really impacting on cyber security, and our business is, I mean, it's a no more business as usual, right? Earlier days, we used to come to office, go to client meeting, you used to come to a campus, you used to go to a cafeteria, right? You have an amphitheater, right? I mean, we are into new normal, right? And you see how the ramp down operation happened. Most of the big companies, they have sold their real estate, big companies, like they have allowed their staff to work from home, right? So, I mean, then what happened? There is a sudden strain on both IT and security, if you see the middle one, right? Because everything remote, right? And you have to have a proper IT infra, right? That's why I will talk about the 5G story, why 5G into come into picture, right? We talk about industrial revolution, we talk about autonomous car, we talk about smart home, we talk about the teams. Let's say we are talking about Google Meets, right? It should be uninterrupted, right? And we do everything on Teams or Zoom or Google Meet. We do a what do you call breakout session? We do war room there. We can articulate everything, and we can drag and drop a lot of things. We do it, right? So that's why the impact and the pressure on IT, OT, and I'll talk about the IoT in 5G later. It's actually, so that's why it's not unusual. Then if you see the cybersecurity risk in the COVID crisis area, let's say increase adversarial activity we are doing all remote working and collaboration, so your data security privacy is a concern, right? Let's say if my laptop is given by my client and I'm using some data security and privacy, if something compromises, then I will on a bad name, but it represents to my company. We will lose millions of dollars of business, right? And you see, some people have privileged access management, right? Let's say our banking, you see, let's say your cross-border remittance, right? If somebody can manipulate, you see, instead of 1 lakh, somebody will just remove 1 0. What will happen? That so it happened, but now actually it is all getting automated, right? What you put, then everything has been seeing. That's why we call it WhatsApp. Recently, last year it was got into some issue, but they have sorted out. It's a encryption, we call it, right? Nobody can record, whatever, if I'm talking to you on WhatsApp, that means it's encrypted, right? It cannot be, so again, blockchain coming into picture. So a lot of things are coming. So the key challenges to handle at this moment is we have inadequate cyber security resources. That is true. Say if your students want to make their career in cyber security, there is a ample opportunity. I was reading a NASSCOM's report. I think NASSCOM predicts that around 12 lakhs cyber security professionals alone required for India by 2022 December. Yeah, so there is a huge, 10-12 lakhs only cyber security professionals across, across job, right? Then there is a increased cyber threats due to the large volume of employees working remotely. I talk about, right? I mean, mostly if you see IT, 90% are remote, right? Only 10 to 15% people, they go to client place or office because they have to go, because they are handling some different, right? And the limitation of this SIEM tools, to get real-time insights, continuously we analyze activity, then endpoint to quickly detect malicious behavior with remote workforce, right? It doesn't mean that, let's say in a factory environment, factory workers cannot work remotely, they have to be in factory, right? And how actually you can, in a COVID scenario, how we can actually monitor them, right? In a factory means, let's say they are in a chemical factory, or let's say steel factory, or rubber factory, right? There are, how we can actually, where if your supervisors are not there, if you supervisors are working remotely, how we can actually enable through network. Let's say we have they call it smart hat, cap, right? So geofence, they do it, that means what? If somebody needs geofence, I can only work within a limited area, right? If I'm going out of, then I will get a uh, alert. It can be a shock, it can be vibration, whatever, right? So a lot of things are being, so then there is a lack of cyber security and privacy awareness. For an example, among employees, it happens many times. So let's say even also you might be doing it. Let's say you have opened your banking login, right? You have just log in with your ID, password, it is open, but you got a call. So what is your priority? If it is, this is a priority to take, then you log out from your internet banking, but normally you don't do. If it is a public place you are doing, if you are taking call, then people are watching, right? So you see, I'm just giving this is actually the one third party is actually observing you. Then you will get into the phishing or ransom attack later, right? Let's say most of the enterprise used to have a BYOD. What is that? Bring your own device, right? So that means you come with your own device and it get connected to your enterprise system. If it is outdated operating system, old antivirus, a lot of things are there. Now actually you are making it very automated. If everything is not updated, they will disconnect from the enterprise system, right? So let's say on-patch VPN, inadequate VDI, right? So your endpoint control. So lot of things actually, Then the last one, if you see, IT, OT, IoT convergence has increased the threat landscape significantly, because of the remote operation. And as I told you, OT is basically for both hardware and software. IT is all your application, right? And IoT is all connected device, right? I'll give a live example when it comes for the autonomous vehicle. So these are the managing cyber risk and building resilience. Let's say how can be a cyber resilience, right? And the secure remote working, so that your especially your remote working station, the way you work, everything should be remote. If I'm working, then it's not secure, right? Whatever I'm punching, then the webcam is, So that is one way to do. Then your data security solutions, right? And the security and monitoring assurance, then your third party risk management. I think you are aware of we are in fourth industrial revolution today. If you see, the fast industrial revolution started in somewhere 1784, basically for steam engine, we all heard about. Then 1870 electric started. That means we started doing mass production, assembly line. Then the third era of industrial is basically for silicon-based microprocessor control, where we got into computers, electronics. Then the automated factory concept started in 1969. And today, actually, we are in the cyber physical system, where Internet of everything, right? The intelligent factory concept, the industry 4.0 is real, right? And the 5G coming to picture, where the latency speed makes an impact, to your IoT device, to your car to be connected or car to be autonomous, right? So, or your home should be smart. Let's say you're freeze talking to your different appliances, right? So a lot of things coming into picture, right? That depends on the 5G, And but what impacts the business the most is basically for the threat vectors and multi-level cyber attacks. It's not only that it's one way. They will try. You must be getting a lot of phishing emails, right? I mean, what does it mean? Let's say you immediately get an email saying, "Hey, you have some amount has been debited from your account," right? Just an email. And if you see the two, it will look like exactly same. ICICI Bank, State Bank of India, Union Bank, whatever, right? And normally, if you then they will say, oh, if you have not done any transaction, please click the link. Most of the people, what they do, they don't look at, they don't go and check who is the sender, the email ID, whether it is actually the ICICI bank.com domain or sbi.co.in or something, right? I can put a display name, no, to ICICI Bank, right? And they will go and simply pull it, click it, and then your device is compromised. Once your device is compromised, I have saved number, let's say home, then my daughter's number, home, then my wife's number. Then somebody will come, right? They will operate me, they will observe me where I am. And based on that, they will say, hey, your father, your husband met with an accident, and this is the number. They can take my phone control and call from this number, right? Though the device will be with me, and they know that I am not with my family. So a lot of things can be done. And if you are saving all your password, everything here, then it is compromised. So I'm just giving an example, but I will give you more in terms of enterprise level cyber attack. So what is a cyber attack? A cyber attack is nothing but a cyber attack is basically a attack launched from one or more computers against another computer. It can be your mobile phone. It can be anything, right? Multiple computers, or in a network, let's say LAN network, or in an enterprise network, And the cyber attacks can be broken down into two broad types, basically. Attacks where the goal is to disable the target computer or knock it offline. For an example, you are in an enterprise system and they found that, yes, people are working, and they will try to disable the target computer. They will make it totally offline. If my system is totally offline, then I can't talk to you, right? You can't hear me. I mean, whatever I'm talking about, right? So let's say if I'm I'm in US, right? So here basically we put our when I drive on highway, I put my thing on cruise control. That means what? It's all auto brake, auto things happens. I mean, if I cross the line, I get a signal. But let's say that has been compromised. My brake has been compromised. That means that my brake pad is not working. What will happen? And then it's a connected car. So my, like in aircraft, we have a black box, right? So we have a TCU, telematics control unit, right? It will activate, and that guy can talk to me really. Hey, Damo, your brake is not working. And it is compromised, and I need few millions rupees, dollar, whatever, right? They can ask me, right? So before that happens, how you can actually take a prevention, that we will talk about. Then attacks where the goal is to get access to the target computers, your target vehicle, and that they will play around you, right? And if you see that top 5 cyber attacks, so one is ransomware. This is very form of malware, malicious software that actually attempts to encrypt your data. You know what is encryption, right? They will try to actually scramble your data, then export to a ransom to release a unlock code. So most ransomware is delivered via emails, I told you, right? Somebody will send you your college, university, let's say your university name is Sri Sankaracharya Technical Campus. Let's say you call it sstc.com, right? Somebody will say, okay, you have not paid your bills or something, and you have to pay. This is the link. Pay. Let's say you are paying 2 lakhs in a year, right? If you click that link and you put all your, then you are compromised, right? So you need to actually check, I mean, you should actually, we are advising even my kids, just check whether the genuine mails have come, right? If you're getting from your college, school, friends, check. Just one click, you will come to know, okay, this is actually from the correct domain, right? So this is actually, it comes in mail. Now, phishing is an attempt to gain sensitive information while posing as a trustworthy contract. For example, let's say bank and online services, your spear phishing is a highly targeted attempt to gain information from an individual. Phishing emails may look completely convincing, as I give an example, and often with faultless wording and genuine logos. They will copy paste the logo. No, I mean, right? If yeah, I also get a mail. Let's say, hey, your CEO wants to talk to you. Why CEO will contact me directly, right? Right? In US also, these spammers, these scammers, is very crazy. You know, I give you example. I landed 4 years ago. And the moment I got my phone activated, it's a AT&T and company phone. That means enterprise phone, right? And the second day I got a call, hey, Damodar, is Damodar? I don't know how they got my name. And yeah, I think you have compromised on your social security and you will be arrested soon. You got it's a phone call. You know, first they will SMS. If you don't respond, they call you. You know, and then I heard about. I'm into IT. I know how this happens. Then I simply, I mean, I screw up that happiness. I told him, hey guy, this I just landed this country yesterday, and today this phone got activated, and you say that I have compromised with my social security. Then you got it. So, but if you are not, then definitely they will say, okay, dial 1, 2, 3. Then no, I mean, if you have not done anything wrong with the income tax or something, then definitely they will take you into tax. Then the third kind of cyber risk is basically for data leakage. Basically for we are all using smartphone, tablets, right? And we do all our digital payment through, So again, they may take your internal data, and the target for that call is data thieves, right? And then the typical hacking, right? They actually target to access your corporate IT system, basically. That hackers, basically the cyber criminals, outside an organization, and still offers a picking up criminal. Traditionally, they have attempted to gain access to a bank account information, credit card holder, entire database, like you heard about, right? In earlier, I mean, last year, one bank credit card data was compromised, or other database was compromised. We all heard about that, right? So these are all kind of hacking. Somebody will, hack your entire system and database, right? And insider threat is nothing but your own employee, right? A full-time or contractor, let's say he's working something, let's say bank employee, Citibank, like for an example, I will give an example. So let's say the own employee, let's say he's doing the transaction, transferring amount from one enterprise to another. You can do that, right? So that is basically for enterprise internal threat. If you see, the 91% of all cyber attacks begin with a phishing email. That is very simple. It can come to your personal account. It can come to your corporate email box as well. Let's say if you are using your university domain, right? It can come. So install security software on mobile devices. That we are doing it, right? Browsing questions. That's why you are doing all kind of daily health check of our laptop or systems, right? And we are always saying that only download the reputable mobile application. No, only use different password. That's why we are saying every 45 days you need to change your password, or 30 days. Beware of phishing mail. So there are all awareness we need to require. If you see the phishing attacks during this COVID scenario, ransomware I talk about, keylogger is nothing but a malware can record whatever the user is typing. I'm speaking, you never know, it is getting recorded. And if let's say we are using Google Meet, if it is not properly encrypted, never know what I talk about, and it is recorded, right? If I talk something, let's say if I talk which I should not talk, then that guy will record, and hey, say you told against that particular brand or company, and I will sue you. It's possible, right? So these are the keyloggers. You never know, but it's all recorded. Yeah, and one day you will find an email with a video recording. Say you talk about that brand which you are not supposed to tell. So let's say, yeah, absolutely, right? Then remote access, we call it RAT, Trojan, we call it. Then there are a lot of, you talk about the distributed denial of services, right? DDoS, we call it, right? They're all computer control remotely to participate, and they will bring down your website. If you heard about during the Black Friday or during the Diwali Dhamaka, right? If somebody, let's say, can bring down the website of Amazon or Flipkart or Walmart, whatever, right? Then you see, if they bring down the website or network for a few minutes, the kind of loss happen, you see, huge, right? If they can bring down and ask the enterprise, you you compensate, then definitely, no, if I'm compromising, I'm giving 10 lakhs, getting 1 crore business, then definitely they will, no. So these are called all zombies or bots, right? So these are a few example. I think last year or last year, the Capital One, big one in US, and the Weather Channel ransomware, the US Custom and Border Protection happens. Citrix, you heard about that. Texas ransomware attack, WannaCry, Honda I have not mentioned. Then if you see last year, it happened in even Texas, the gas, right? Because Texas is normally it's just like our tropical climate, but last year it was snowing, so the entire city or few cities, they were not prepared, right? I mean, so I mean that entire what do you call, here we call it energy, right? Energy, gas, all things has been compromised, and they were totally down for weeks together, right? So you see, I mean, if somebody can say they can shut down the entire, let's say, Madhya Pradesh, or let's say New Raipur, or let's say Bhilai, if they take control of the entire energy, or BESCOM, or the state electricity board, right? Everything is connected these days, right? That's why OT, I talk about that. Then everything, entire city will be dark, right? So you see kind of, then the business strategy for risk in the era of connected car. I will talk about example here. Let's say, uh, we commute from one place to another place, right? Basically, we share our location to Ola, Uber, Then we do the real-time vehicle tracking, where exactly the vehicle is. Then we take road assistance if anything goes wrong with our vehicle. Risk cluster, then your SOS alert, right? Then the vehicle health is basically for your monitoring your vehicle, your driving pattern, and utilities, your peer comparison, especially it is very famous with youngsters, the first time drivers or the car owners, right? They always compare how you are driving compared to your peers, right? So your trip report analysis you do, they're all smart car, right? I mean, then a lot of security integrated. Let's say we call it vehicles security operation command center. I'll talk about that, right? And the malicious explosion happens, ransom and DDoS I talk about, forbidden command. They're all security related. Let's say loss prevention. Let's say in terms of Ola, Uber, or let's say your college bus, where you can do the geofencing, you can immobilize. For an example, a school bus carrying students, they should come the particular route and drop at school or college and take a same route, right? It's all decided route. That means they will geofence it, right? If it is going outside, then yeah, they can immobilize. That means that car or vehicle will get stopped, right? So I'll let me talk about this story, the connected car in cyber security challenges. I have given you an example where when I drive, and if it's cruise control on a highway, I'm on, let's say, for 75 miles per hour. That means 120, 130 kilometers per hour. If my brake fails, or my brake pad is compromised, and you see the kind of, so before that, before anybody actually take control of that, actually my car makers security command center should alert me quickly, hey, there is attack, can you please take your car to the nearest thing and stop it. So once you stop anyway, I mean, you are stopped, right? And you come out of, nothing will happen, right? Once you switch off your engine, then nothing, the engine is on, then they will take the corrective measure, and that patch up, software upgrade, anything. If I have not done, then that is actually happen, no? I mean, what will happen? Let's see, if I have not done my proper software upgrade, my OS is not properly updated, then that things will happen, right? If you are actually your all security patch, everything is updated, then nothing will happen, right? And then the securing the connected car, and to address the IoT security. So a lot of topic to talk about, but let me give you example. Let's say you have this one, security model for safety and data privacy, for automotive applications, right? Let's say your real-time device authentication, validation. Let's say your coupled relationship between device identity data, like in a block-based scenario, it happens, right? And let's say in Europe, if you find, they call it e-call, b-call, in automotive. E-call is emergency call, b-call means breakdown call. Let's say in breakdown call means your vehicle is breakdown, you are safe, you have not met with an accident, right? This should be treated separately. An emergency call means what? You met with an accident and you got injured, and once you met an accident, the black box of the car will pop up and he will actually ask you by your name, hey Damodar, are you okay? No, if you say I'm fine, absolutely fine, no need to worry, can you please call me a roadside assistance? Then that is a different, no. If you are injured, hey, I'm injured, actually I need a help, then immediately the ambulance or police will come, right? So these are the majority, and how that will be aspect to security, I will talk about the next story. Yeah. So I talk about the malware attack, phishing, right, and ransomware. The denial of service, basically it's a attack, is a brute force method to try stop some online services like Amazon sale. I've given an example, right? So they will totally bring down your network, website. So whatever you do, it won't go. That means you are losing. So it's called a distributed denial of services, and it will happen across network, across geo. So yeah. Then the second is man in the middle attack. There are a lot of attacks actually on cyber security space. It's a method by which the attackers manage to interpose themselves secretly between the user and a web services. For an example, I am in a public place, I am speaking, I am doing my online transaction, and there is a webcam. That means somebody is monitoring, right? So this is actually very dangerous. Let's say, especially when you use a public Wi-Fi, and where your login screen actually, in a hotel network, for an example, or in a railway station, or so be careful while we do your login, especially where you are logging and doing your financial transaction, right? And cryptojacking, you heard about all digital currency, right? Your cryptocurrency, right? Yeah, this is actually a special attack, right? Though we call about blockchain is the single source of truth, but still there is a crypto jacking happens. Especially a specialist attack involves getting someone else's computer to do work of generating cryptocurrency and for you in a process of called mining in a crypto lingo, right? So anyway, this is it's not legalized in India, so let's not talk about that. But yeah, I mean, still I heard people are crazy buying cryptocurrency, but I don't advise. But it's a different topic to talk about that. Yeah. Then there is another called SQL injection, right? It means the attacker can exploit a vulnerability to take control of your database, right? Let's say that, right? A structure query language SQL database, right? So then zero-day exploit. Zero-day exploit is basically a software that have yet to be fixed. The name arises because once a patch is, you know that, right? We release the patch each and every day. That patch has to be run, right? And but if let's say it is run all the computers, right? It's only fewer computers, then the other computers can come into the compromise. Yeah. So daily you will find a lot of things coming up, right? And yeah, so the how enterprise security managers are dealing with the explosion, on unmanaged and IoT devices, then it's that's why I call, right, 64% on an average enterprises are already compromised, and 11 second one attack happens, worldwide, right? So how you can actually access your cyber resilience, right? And 5G security concerns I'll talk about a little more, because even all countries, including India, we are on 5G track, right? I think already few cities we have already 5G network. So what is the difference between 3G, 4G, 5G? 5G is basically because of the low latency, you will have a high bandwidth, high speed, right? So once you have high speed, then your download, uploading speed will be very high, right? And we are using all, let's say, smart devices at home. Let's say your smart fridge, your smart refrigerator, your smart toaster, right? And so let's say your car, or your Google Home, your Alexa, right? They're all connected devices, right? And you may be experiencing, right, whatever you are searching in your Google, and if you have your OTT TV, if you are searching a medicine, suddenly that ad comes into your TV. Why? Whatever you are searching online, you get an ad, right? These are all targeted targeted campaign or marketing happens, right? So be careful what you search, what you look at your Google, if it is your email ID is connected to that particular device, right? And Yeah, this is actually reputation. So I'll talk about a little bit on AI. Time check. Okay. Yeah. In terms, so I mean, there is a debate happening whether which is better, cyber security or AI. AI story. I talk about that, right? So in terms of difficulties to learn and job growth rate, I think AI is better than cyber security. But cyber security combined with AI is equally important because many companies are using AI for cyber security applications because we are all remote and you can't put your cyber security expert everywhere, so you have to remotely manage. If any attacks coming, any spam filter, any network intrusion detection, any fraud detection, any credit scoring, it's very important, right? Credit scoring, let's say you have a credit score. In US also we have a credit score. In India we call it that again credit scoring, right? Based on that you are allowed to get open a credit card or something like that, right? So if your that is compromised, your incident forecasting, all sort of things are related to though how remotely you can actually your artificial intelligence can be enabled, or it can really work on the data so that before any compromise happens, it can prevent, right? So that's why both AI in that's why I call it AI in cyber security. It's a combination, right? And both are growing. Both in terms of job market, though we will be I mean boycotting few, but this growth is more, right? Because we need more people to be professional and ethical way of doing business. And whether AI is unethical is a big question, right? Let's say for autonomous car, of course, I think let's say in the US still on testing and few cities it's allowed, but if a car going, he has to meet with an accident, whether he will hit a dog or a man or a tree, right? So how the system will decide, right? And how it will be ethical. So there are a lot of things to discuss about. It is not yet decided, but yeah. So AI scans your entire system, checks for any possible threat, right? So that's why AI is very much important, and it autonomous. Like unlike humans, AI will identify threats immediately and simplify your security. What will happen? Let's say if something goes wrong my system while speaking to you, if any threat comes, he will shut down my system. He will disconnect my system. He will disconnect my, let's say, internet fast, right? So that's why it can be done remotely. And how AI is used in cyber security. So AI can be used to spot any cyber threat, possible malicious activity, some suspicious activity. Based on that, they can video footage, right? That happens, right? Especially in your airport or railway or any crowd. Let's say in Kumbh Mela, how it was managed this time. Last time it is a very big case study. In Allahabad, how the Kumbh Mela was maintained. It was all purely on video surveillance, right? And based on your pattern, based on your behavior, right? Immediately you can predict whether I am an aggressive or not. If I am aggressive going like this, that means something different. If I'm just in a crowd, but I do Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Radhe Radhe, whatever, I'm just that will treat me as a religious person, right? But I'm going little aggressive, my body movement differently, then quickly that video surveillance with AI will say, oh, something is going to happen. Then immediately the nearest police or somebody will be alerted, right? Or it can be lot of way to do that, right? So then AI machine learning, you all about know what is machine learning, and the NLP. And day by day, because these are all run on data, so the more data, the more accuracy data, then the threat intelligence can be recognized, at a pattern in data, and it can enable security system to learn from past experience. It is purely from past experience. I told you that application I talk about, right? Mitra Bandhu, on how in addition, AI and machine learning enable companies to reduce the incident response timely and comply with the security best. That is really the best way to do remotely, right? I'm just taking a little speed up. Okay, you see the kind of business, right? I mean, 46.3 billion by 2027. This is actually the AI combination with cyber security business will on globally. So yeah, in India alone, I will show you. I think I'm running short of time, so let me quickly summarize and yeah, let me take you to, I think this autonomous vehicle self-driving, I talk about that, but yeah. A lot of topics to talk about, but yeah. So yeah, let me talk about this little, then I can yeah. So let's say India government is the plan 2030 automotive plan, right? India government is targeting almost every car on road to be electric, connected, autonomous, and shared, right? Let's say India is selling 2.5 million, 25 million car every year, and Maruti is almost 50%, right? And you see the kind of expectation happens by 2030. And in that case, if all cars are connected, electric, then you see the Oil India, HPCL, BPCL petrol pump may not be there, right? Like for electric car charging, like you talk about the pre 2000 era, right? We have a STD booth, every corner of the street. So similarly, we just need a car keeping space, and you will have a charging station. And who would be the charging station? You, me will be enabled, right? We will just put a charging station like we used to put the PCO booth, STD booth, ISD, STD, PCO those days. So that I can see that, right? That will happen. Otherwise, where you will going to charge your car? That means you will charge your car, you will allow others to charge your car. And it doesn't mean that somebody has to be there. It will be automated, right? Let's say we will put some digital platform where your payment gateway, everything can be, and energy, whatever, you just connect your car, charge, you auto pay from your digital wallet or credit card, debit card, then you move on, right? And in that case, then your insurance, your driving pattern, and your accident, and if you are a good driver, definitely you should pay less insurance. If you are a bad driver, you should pay more insurance, like in US happens, right? If I am a good driver, I pay less insurance. If I am bad driver, my insurance goes up. Yeah, if I'm caught by police, again, also my insurance will go up, right? So a lot of peer pressure also will come into picture. It's a good and bad, so that will actually control the entire your accident, your driving behavior. Like road in India, right? I mean, road races are very high, right? And people really fire, I mean, shoot, right? But if all the things will come into picture, I'm sure there will be less accident on road, and people will be really sober on road, right? Road races will come down. Here also happens, but yeah, because that will trigger your insurance cost up, right? So there are a lot of positive thing I can see, but the other thing is, this is for VSOC, Vehicle Security Command Center, that has to be taken care of. Otherwise, you see, we are all moving to cloud, so automotive cloud, your mobile app will be there, connected car, your car is here. Then you see, hackers are everywhere, right? And so any unknown cyber threat means immediately somebody has to detect it and respond it, right? So that takes a long, yeah. So this is the future of cybersecurity, I can say. You see, it is almost 1.8 million by 2022 cyber professionals, and will jump up to 1 in 2015. So huge scope, and the cybersecurity combination of by AI will really change the world. And if I talk about for student, yeah, this is actually 12 lakh cybersecurity professional by this. And it is no secret that US average salary for a simple engineer is 100,000 per year. And if you see recent KPMG told that even the cybersecurity professionals, heads basically, those are having 10 years experience, their salary range has gone from 2 crore to 4 crore. That means entry level salary, if it would be 30-40 lakhs in India as well. We can see that. So what is next? I talk about cars in the AI world, traffic control, self-driving car, your vehicle command center, yeah, traffic control would be automatic, right? I mean, based on the cars passing by, right? And the healthcare in AI world, your robot surgeon, AI doctors, AI assisted medicine. Now you all remote consulting are doing, right? We are not meeting the doctor immediately, right? So homes in AI world, shopping in AI world, smart mirrors, a lot of things can be looked at, right? But the worst part is war robots. This is very dangerous, and how humans might use AI is the real threat, and how AI and cyber security would be ethical, right? If you have to shoot somebody, whether it's an ethical way of shooting somebody or not, right? Let's say in warfare, right? That's why US is selling a lot of warfare related, very large weapons to rest of the world, and they make money. And what is next? The next on cybersecurity is that should use real-time predictive and do a quick behavior analysis, and it should increase prevention and efficacy and speed. Speed matters, right? Immediately, if somebody can be prevented, then absolutely that is nothing like, and it comes to be automated threat detection and response capability immediately. Then only you can prevent something. Yeah. So I think I had a lot of material to talk about, but I think due to time constraint, let me pause here, and I can answer your questions if you have any. Yeah, you can call. You can you can post your questions, or simply you can ask me. Let me answer. Yeah.
Participants, any query, please?
Yeah, you can put your questions in chat window, or you can Google column. Very good audience. No disturbance, nothing. No noise. So thank you very much. No questions.
You can also put in the chat box
if
there is any query.
No worry, no worry. If you have any questions, you can always connect me on LinkedIn. You can discuss there. Okay. It is not a question of concern that machine will rule on human beings as the technology is growing up with this speed. That's why I given that. I think Mr. Saurabh Pandya. Okay. It's not like that. That's why I give an example of Elon Musk and versus NG, right? I mean, Elon Musk is saying everything AI should take control of the entire Earth, right? But it doesn't mean that people will allow him to do that, right? And he has his own ambition, mission, right? But the other way, people say, right? No, I mean, we can use technology, but they should not take control of human beings. Of course, we will be losing few jobs here and there, but we will add jobs in some other way, right? I talk about, let's say, in COVID era where we are all remote, but cybersecurity professional requirement is more. So our students should actually get trained or show interest on cybersecurity and get into that. Let's say AI ML is huge, right? I mean, and especially in autonomous world where 5G coming to pictures, we need a lot of 5G IoT professionals. So somewhere we are losing, but somewhere also we are gaining. And you have seen, I mean, IT at this moment, I think most of the campus, I think Wipro has a plan to hire some 40,000 employees this year alone. Today, our chairman and CEO talk about, right? Even similarly for all industry, they are hiring many IT professionals, and there is a scarcity of IT professional, and we don't get proper skill set people globally, and the salary range has gone up for lateral hire, and most of the people they have 2-3 offers in hand. You ask any IT professional recently changed up, he must have 2-3 offers in hand. So it's actually growing, but the concern is on cyber security. Yes, that is also growing. So there is a huge chance people will get, and people should actually come into cyber security. There should be ethical hacker, right? So yeah. Mr. Saurabh, hope I can answer your question. Okay, thank you.
Okay. More query.
If not today, I would like to again talk to you guys in another session or any other topic, so please feel free to invite me, ma'am. So yeah, I was a little rushed because it's a big chapter. It can't be covered in 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. So maybe we'll have some kind of workshop session where technical session when I can work over everything, end to end. Yeah, we can have a working session as well. So Google Meet.
Okay, sir. One another query: which AI technique will be helpful in cyber security?
No, it can be, you see, AI is nothing but your artificial intelligence, right? Artificial intelligence is machine learning. For an example, the phishing email, for an example, I will give. Either anywhere where the phishing email, the AI on email, while reading, it can detect it's a phishing email and that they put it into junk or spam. So it should not come to your main email. For an example, let's say my system is compliance, right? Let's say if I am doing any transaction on a non-compliance system, can AI shut down my system because I am doing some financial transaction and my software is not upgraded, my system is not compliance with the security aspect? So can my system get automatically shut down and I get a message that no, you can't do it because your system is not security compliance? So that one. Let's say for a data center attack happens, like Honda, last year what happened? They have attacked their entire factory system, OT, operational technology. Factory was down for more than 10 days. So before somebody attacks, can we predict when it is coming? Once we predict, can we respond quickly, remotely? That will take us a long, yeah. So it can be any. I see, artificial intelligence it doesn't mean that you will start from the day one. Over the period 6 months, 1 year, once you used to it, this is actually programmable. Right? You program it, and they are becoming intelligent day by day. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate your presence.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting our invitation for this session and delivering this nice session. Very nice and
Thank you.
informative session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Participants, there is a break of 15 minutes and we'll resume at 12 p.m. sharp.